Whiskers was a puppy full of life. He lived in a cozy house with a green garden. He loved to play with his toys and chase his tail. He barked at butterflies and squirrels. Life was simple, but Whiskers dreamed of more. He yearned for adventure, sniffing at the wind. The old gray cat told tales of the wild. Whiskers' tail wagged at the thought of exploring. He knew in his heart that something magical was waiting. One sunny afternoon, Whiskers felt a familiar urge. He sniffed the air, an unusual scent tickling his nose. It smelled sweet like berries and sunshine. Driven by curiosity, Whiskers started exploring. He squeezed under bushes and pushed through tall grass. The intoxicating smell led him to the back of the garden. Hidden behind a rose bush was something strange. It shimmered and sparkled with an otherworldly glow. Whiskers froze, unsure. Was it dangerous? Was it exciting? He took a step closer, his heart pounding. Should he turn back or see what wonders awaited? It was a swirling vortex of colors. Blues, greens, and purples danced before his eyes. It hummed with a low, inviting sound. Whiskers felt a strange pull towards it. Could this be the adventure he craved? He barked once, a sound full of anticipation. He cautiously dipped a paw into the swirling mass. It tingled with an unknown energy. Taking a deep breath, Whiskers decided he would be brave and discover what lay beyond. With one last wag of his tail, he took a running leap into the heart of the swirling colors. Whiskers closed his eyes, bracing himself. He expected a crash, but there was nothing. Only a strange sensation of weightlessness. He opened his eyes. The garden, his house, the familiar fence, all were gone. In their place was a fantastical sight. He stood on a path paved with shimmering stones. Above him, the sky was a swirling canvas of pink and orange clouds. Whiskers took a tentative step forward. The air buzzed with a strange energy. He felt strangely light, as if gravity had forgotten about him. A giggle made him stop. It was a tiny sound, like the tinkling of bells. Whiskers turned his head, his ears perked, trying to locate the source. The path meandered through a landscape unlike anything Whiskers had ever seen. Giant mushrooms sprouted along the way, their caps glowing. Waterfalls cascaded from impossible heights, their water sparkling with rainbows. Trees taller than any oak swayed gently in the breeze. Whiskers felt a surge of pure joy. This was adventure beyond his wildest dreams. He chased after glowing butterflies. He rolled in patches of moss that felt softer than velvet. He barked at mischievous pixies who peeked at him from behind giant flower petals. The air was filled with the sweet scent of honey and wildflowers. His tail wagged furiously. He had found adventure. A flash of brilliant blue caught Whiskers' eye. A butterfly, larger than any he had ever seen, fluttered nearby. Its wings were a dazzling sapphire edged with silver. Whiskers watched, captivated as it danced in the air. As if sensing his gaze, the butterfly fluttered closer. It hovered right before him, its delicate antennae twitching. Whiskers was mesmerized. Then, to his astonishment, the butterfly spoke. "Welcome, little one," it said, its wings fanning the air with a gentle breeze, "to the land of Evergreena." Whiskers' jaw dropped. Talking butterflies? This place was full of surprises. Whiskers, emboldened by Luna's kind eyes and gentle voice, took a hesitant step closer. He wagged his tail tentatively, unsure if he should trust this talking butterfly. I followed a scent," he stammered. "A magical scent, and a swirling light, and then I was here. I don't know how to get back." Luna fluttered closer, her wings brushing gently against Whiskers' head. "Don't worry, little one," she said, her voice soothing. "You are not the first to stumble upon Evergreena. Many have found their way here. drawn by the magic that flows through our land. But finding your way back? That is a journey in itself. Whisker's heart sank. He didn't want to be lost. He whined softly, his tail now firmly tucked between his legs. Luna settled on a nearby mushroom, her wings folding gracefully behind her. "Don't despair, little one," she said, sensing Whisker's distress. "We will find a way to get you home. But first, you must tell me all about yourself." Whiskers, heartened by Luna's reassuring words, wagged his tail. He told her about his life in the garden, his yearning for adventure, and the swirling portal that had brought him to this magical land. As he spoke, he felt a sense of comfort settle over him. Luna listened patiently, her large eyes sparkling with understanding. "Well, Whiskers," she said, "it seems you are in for quite the adventure." Luna fluttered off the mushroom. She hovered in the air, her wings beating a soft rhythm. "Every magical land," she explained, "has its own rules. Here in Evergreena, we cherish kindness and courage. We believe in the power of friendship and the importance of helping others." Whiskers tilted his head, listening intently. He wagged his tail, eager to learn. Luna smiled, pleased by his enthusiasm. "Follow me, little one," she said, leading the way down the shimmering path. "But be warned, not all creatures here are as friendly as they seem." They walked for what seemed like hours. The air grew cooler, the light dimmer. The path led them deeper into the heart of Evergreena. They entered a forest unlike any Whiskers could have imagined. Giant trees loomed overhead, their branches intertwining to form a dense canopy. The leaves, instead of green, were 1,000 shades of purple. They rustled in the breeze, whispering secrets to one another. Strange flowers bloomed in the undergrowth, their petals glowing. Whiskers sneezed, his nose twitching. He felt a prickle on the back of his neck, a sense of being watched. He glanced around nervously. "The Whispering Woods?" Whiskers repeated, his voice trembling slightly. He didn't like the sound of that. The name itself sent shivers down his spine. Luna nodded, her antennae drooping slightly. "It is a place of ancient magic," she explained, "and home to creatures both wondrous and unpredictable." She pointed with a delicate wing towards a clearing up ahead. A faint light flickered through the trees, a beacon in the growing darkness. "We must reach the Crystal Falls before nightfall," she said, her voice taking on a sense of urgency. "When night falls, what?" Whiskers pressed, his heart pounding in his chest. He hated being left in suspense. Luna took a deep breath, her wings fluttering nervously. "When night falls," she finally said, "the creatures of shadow come out to play, and they are not fond of strangers." Before Whiskers could ask what she meant by creatures of shadow, a low growl echoed through the trees. Whiskers whimpered, taking a step closer to Luna. The light ahead, the one Luna had called the Crystal Falls, grew brighter. It pulsed with an ethereal glow, illuminating the clearing with an otherworldly light. Standing before the waterfall was a creature of immense size and power. The creature was bear-like in shape, but its fur was a deep emerald green flecked with silver. It had the head of a wolf, but its eyes glowed with an inner fire. It stared at Whiskers and Luna, its gaze intense. Whiskers froze, his heart pounding in his chest. He had never felt so small, so insignificant. "Do not be afraid, little ones," a voice boomed through the clearing. "I am Arcturus," the voice continued, "guardian of the Whispering Woods. What brings you to my domain?" Whiskers, still trembling, looked up at Luna. She fluttered nervously, her usual gracefulness replaced with a frantic energy. "We seek passage through the woods," Luna stammered. "This little one has lost his way." Arcturus fixed his gaze on Whiskers. To pass through safely, one must prove their courage. Whiskers' tail tucked between his legs. Courage? He wasn't sure he had any, not when faced with a creature as imposing as Arcturus. He looked up at the giant guardian, his ears flattened against his head. "What kind of test?" Luna asked, her voice trembling slightly. She fluttered protectively in front of Whiskers. Arcturus lowered his head, his glowing eyes fixed on Whiskers. "Deep within the Whispering Woods lies the Whispering Stone. To prove your courage, little one, you must retrieve a single whisper from the stone." Whiskers' eyes widened. Retrieve a whisper? What did that even mean? "But it's dark in there," Whiskers stammered. He glanced nervously into the depths of the woods. The shadows seemed to deepen, closing in around them. "And dangerous," Luna added, her voice echoing Whiskers' fear. "Are you sure you want to do this, little one?" Whiskers looked from Luna to Arcturus and back again. He knew it would be easier to turn back, to find another way. But something inside him, a spark of the adventure he craved, refused to let him back down. He took a deep breath, gathering his courage. "I'll do it," he said, his voice trembling but resolute. With a final rumble that seemed to reverberate in Whiskers' very bones, Arcturus turned and melted back into the shadows, disappearing as quickly as he had appeared. The clearing, once filled with his imposing presence, felt strangely empty. "Are you sure about this, Whiskers?" Luna asked, her voice filled with concern. She fluttered close to his ear, her wings brushing gently against his fur. "It's not too late to turn back." Whiskers hesitated, his resolve wavering for a moment. He glanced back at the path they had come from. It seemed much longer now, the way back shrouded in shadows. He took another deep breath, the scent of wildflowers and damp earth filling his nostrils. He could do this. He had to do this. "I'm ready," he said, his voice firmer this time. He would face his fears, prove his courage, even if it meant venturing into the heart of the Whispering Woods. Luna sensed his determination and nuzzled him gently with her head. "Very well, little one," she said, her voice filled with newfound respect. "I'm right here beside you." Together, the unlikely duo stepped onto the path of moonlight. It shimmered before them, a silver ribbon winding through the trees. The moonlight cast flickering shadows, making the trees seem to dance. Whiskers stuck close to Luna, his senses on high alert. The path led them deeper into the woods. Finally, they reached a clearing bathed in ethereal light. In the center, nestled amongst the roots of a giant oak, lay a unique stone. It pulsed with a soft inner light, whispering like 1,000 voices. This was the Whispering Stone. The Whispering Stone pulsed with an inner light. It seemed to breathe, expanding and contracting with each soft, rhythmic whisper. Whiskers approached cautiously, his paws making no sound on the mossy ground. He circled the stone, his head cocked to one side. He sniffed at its smooth, cool surface, trying to make sense of its strange energy. It felt ancient, powerful, as if it held the memories of 1,000 lifetimes. As he drew closer, the whispers grew louder, clearer. He could almost make out words, but they were jumbled, fragmented, like pieces of a forgotten dream. He whined softly, unsure what to do. Suddenly, a voice cut through the whispers. It was high-pitched, desperate, filled with a heartbreaking urgency. "Help us! Please, someone help us!" Whiskers jumped back, startled. He looked around frantically, searching for the source of the voice. It seemed to be coming from the stone itself, but that couldn't be right. Could it? Luna fluttered closer, her wings beating a frantic rhythm. "What was that?" she asked, her voice filled with alarm. "Did you hear that?" Whiskers nodded, his tail tucked between his legs. It sounded like someone was in trouble, he stammered, his voice barely a whisper. He glanced nervously around the clearing, his senses on high alert. The voice came again, closer this time, more insistent. "We're trapped. We can't find our way out." It was a chorus of voices now, tiny and high-pitched, all pleading for help. Whiskers took a hesitant step towards the stone. He placed his paw on its smooth, cool surface, and as he did, the whispers parted, revealing a scene that made his heart ache. Trapped within the stone, their tiny lights flickering desperately, were dozens of fireflies. They flitted about frantically, their luminescence dimmed, their energy waning. They were lost, confused, their usual cheerful glow replaced by fear and despair. "Oh dear," Luna whispered, her voice filled with compassion. "They're trapped in the Whispering Stone. They must have flown too close and been caught in its magic." Whiskers looked from the trapped fireflies to Luna and back again. He had to do something. Those tiny lights, even dimmed and flickering, represented hope, joy, a spark of magic in the world. He couldn't let them fade away. But what could he do? He was just a puppy. He didn't understand the magic of the Whispering Stone. He looked up at Luna, his eyes pleading for help. "There must be a way to free them," Luna said, her voice thoughtful. She circled the stone, her wings beating a slow, steady rhythm, as if deep in thought. "The Whispering Stone holds the secrets of the forest. Perhaps it also holds the key to their release." She landed on the stone, her delicate antennae twitching. "Whiskers," she said, her voice filled with a newfound urgency. "We need to find that whisper, the one that will free the fireflies." Whiskers approached the stone once more, his fear replaced by a surge of determination. He would find that whisper, even if it meant listening to 1,000 more. He had to help those fireflies. He closed his eyes, focusing on the whispers swirling around him. He blocked out the rustling leaves, the chirping crickets, the distant hoot of an owl. All that mattered were the voices trapped within the stone, their pleas for help echoing in his mind. And then he heard it. A whisper, fainter than the others, but clear, distinct, filled with a different kind of magic. It spoke of friendship, of unity, of the power of many small lights shining together. Whiskers opened his eyes and barked. A single sharp bark that echoed through the clearing. And as he did, a warm feeling spread through him, flowing from his heart, down his legs, and into the stone beneath his paws. The Whispering Stone pulsed brighter than before, its light bathing the clearing in a warm, golden glow. The whispers grew louder, merging into a single, harmonious chorus. And then, with a soft crackle, the stone split open. The trapped fireflies surged towards the crack in the Whispering Stone. Like tiny stars, they streamed out, dazzling against the darkening forest. Whiskers watched in awe as the clearing filled with light. They danced around him, reflecting in his curious eyes. The forest celebrated their freedom. Luna hovered above, wings fluttering with joy. "You did it, Whiskers! You freed the fireflies!" Whiskers barked happily, his tail wagging. He had faced his fears and brought light back to the Whispering Woods. The thought filled him with warmth. As the last fireflies fluttered away, Luna landed softly beside Whiskers. "You have a kind heart, little one," she said, "and a bravery that shines brighter than any firefly." Whiskers, still buzzing with the thrill of adventure, looked up at Luna. "What happens now?" he asked, his voice filled with a mix of excitement and apprehension. Luna smiled, her antennae twitching playfully. "Now," she said warmly, "we find our way back. The path home is clearer when you've faced your fears," and so they set off, Luna leading the way. The forest seemed to guide their steps. The whispers of the trees encouraged them. As they walked, Luna told Whiskers stories of Evergreena, tales of brave creatures and magical deeds, of the importance of kindness and the power of believing in oneself. And Whiskers listened, his heart filled with wonder, knowing that he would carry the magic of this night with him always. He had journeyed to a land beyond imagination, faced a creature of immense power, and freed 1,000 tiny lights. But most importantly, he had discovered a strength and courage within himself that he never knew existed. He had found the magic within. The path led them back to the shimmering portal, its swirling colors beckoning him home. With a final wave of her wing, Luna bid him farewell. "Until we meet again, little one," she whispered, her voice filled with warmth. "May your heart always be open to the wonders that await." And with a final happy bark, Whiskers stepped back into the swirling light, carrying the magic of Evergreena with him, a secret treasure tucked safely in his heart.